Tonight, we've got a great Louisiana story for you. Our guest is from Calhoun, Louisiana, and her journey is one of those you almost have to hear to believe. At 13 years old, she found her way on the Luke Bryan's tour bus, played him a song, and that moment helped launch a career that's taken her all the way to Nashville and to do some pretty amazing things. She's built a name as both an artist and a songwriter. She's a multi-platinum selling songwriter, has spent years on the road performing in front of massive crowds, and continues to carve out her own lane as an artist. But her story goes beyond music. She comes from a rodeo family, is a world champion barrel racer, and now she's also a mom, balancing family, life, and a career in music. We're excited to have her on tonight. Please welcome Chancie Neal.
How's it going? Me and my steering wheel. I'm gonna have to get
on the side of the road.
I know, for real. In the Love's truck stop.
What town are you in?
I am in Gluckstadt, Mississippi.
Oh, okay. So you still got a ways to go. So
yeah, I still got a ways to go. Yeah, I'm heading to Nashville. Just, it seems unplanned, but I actually put a lot of thought into like my timing and where I was going to stop to do the interview and all that. So
you were like, the last thing I needed on a 10-hour trip was to stop and do a podcast right in the middle of
it. or is it the exact thing you need to do? It might be a good idea. A little break. Yeah.
We appreciate it either way. We're
thank you.
We're glad to have you tonight, and we won't keep you too long tonight. We'll.
Wait till I get talking. We'll see. It might be me that keeps us too long.
Oh my goodness. Well, before we get into music tonight, we're going to get into that. But I got a couple of things that I want to hit before we do get into music. And first of all, you became a mom, I think, in 2022.
Yep.
So I want to give you a chance just to kind of brag on your family and share like what type of joy being a mom has brought to your life.
Oh my gosh. So I have a baby girl. She's 3. And oh man, so I always dreamed of like having a riding buddy, like as a barrel racer and a horse girl. When I found out I was having a girl, I was like, oh, I can't wait for the day that like I get to ride horses with her. And she's only 3 and we ride. She would ride all day long if she could. Like she's got the bug. So yeah, she was born on the 4th of July and like she is a firecracker. And then I just had a baby this year. Well, technically last year. He was born in May. So he's 10 months old. And it's awesome. So we have a girl and a boy, and the boy is first boy in our family, like on my side of the family. So I come from a family of 3 girls, and and then my older sister had a girl, and then I had a girl, and I was like, I don't think this is a possibility. And so we're excited to see, I don't know. We're going to have to change everything.
It better be tough because he's going to get teamed up on a lot.
Oh my gosh. My dad, he's kind of like, spearheaded the like rodeo lifestyle in our family and like his side of the family. My mom's side of the family they rode too, but my dad was a professional bull rider. And so he had 3 girls and he was like, his whole place, like the place I grew up at, was set up for barrel racers. And then when he found out we were having a boy, he was like, I don't have any roping chutes or bucking chutes out here. I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then my husband is awesome. He is like, he's great. I have to go to Nashville this week. He's like, I got it. I got the kids. No sweat. He's the best.
That's awesome. That's what it takes in this
crazy
business for sure.
It definitely does.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of share that with the viewers tonight before we even. That's the important stuff. We'll talk about it.
Is. That's the priority. It is. It definitely is. It's like everybody says it. When you have them, it's like this whole new world opens up. So thanks for letting me talk about them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, another thing we kind of mentioned on is before we get into the music is I did. I did. I always try to do my research the best I can, and I saw your dad was a professional bull rider, and then I saw that. I thought I just read that you were a barrel racer, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, does that say world champion barrel racer? I was like, wait a second, what? So talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, all that is so crazy because it does actually connect into like my music story a little bit. And I know we'll get into that. But, um, so I was 9 and I won NBHA world champion. And, yeah, I mean, the horse when you're 9 years old, like, I mean, I was a hand for 9, but like he was amazing. And so that horse is actually teaching my 3-year-old how to ride now. The horse that I won world on, his name's
Wow.
Dakota. But yeah, it's hard to get those gold buckles, and it's real gold. I still have it, so it's awesome.
Wow. So how old were you when you won?
I was
Nine,
9.
9 years old. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. What was it? What's it like growing up in like the rodeo world? I mean, is it just? I don't know. It's like a
Well,
fascinating world to me.
it is. It like coming from somebody on my side of the perspective. Like I've really never known any different. But I think that like made the transition to music or just like being young and stepping into the business pretty easy. I mean, I say, define easy, but like felt kind of natural because in a lot of ways it kind of translates like late nights, we never really had like a schedule. Our only schedule was that we're going somewhere on the weekends and it's going to be late, so it's like sleeping where you got to sleep, like sleeping in a bunk bed. Our horse trailer had bunk beds in it. And, a lot of people don't know, as, talking to people, they don't realize that there's like they make horse trailers like RVs. So there's a living quarter side of some horse trailers. So that's like a phenomenon, I feel like. I'm like, yeah, like when you see these long horse trailers, a lot of them have like a front half that's like an RV.
That,
So when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, like we slept in the horse trailer, they're like, what? I'm like, no, it's not like that.
how did that smell?
Like my dad did sleep in the back part sometimes to get away from all us girls.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, so we had like bunk beds and like, we'd get back there. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but we'd get back there and sleep and eat at the Waffle House at 2 in the morning, and we were like the little kids with all the drunk people, So yeah, I mean, it's such a great lifestyle, like, more serious side of it, like the responsibility and the character, like to be around a horse, you really have to be like good at reading body language and like don't let me nerd out on you too much, but like you have to be good at reading them. And so that translates to people, which translates to like emotions and songwriting. And so I really think it helped me be the artist and writer that I am. And also going out there and running barrels in front of, sometimes there's a big crowd, especially rodeos. You're talking about a full arena,
Wow.
like some of these civic centers and stuff. And so like it's a performance. So it kind of helped with the stage fright or whatever, performing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I can see that transition.
Yeah.
I one time got drunk and won a dance contest at a rodeo.
Wait, no, that's kind of impressive because like cowboys can dance, So
It's a Baton Rouge rodeo. I won two
that's
Alan Jackson
awesome.
tickets to the, and I remembered some of it the next day, but I had my
Yeah,
tickets.
that's awesome. I'm gonna have to. Surely there's got to be a video.
I hope not, but I'm sure it is. Uh, oh my goodness. Well, yeah. So let's kind of dive into music, and we'll kind of start at the beginning and uh, talk about when do you first kind of remember music being something that kind of drew you in.
So when I was actually, I'm gonna go a little bit further back probably than what I usually do, but I was about 9, or I might have been about 8, and I really wanted to learn how to play guitar. Hello.
Oh, Might have lost you.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. I just met. There we
Look
go. Now,
for a
now,
second. I'm back. I'm back. Can you see
there we
me?
go. There we
Okay.
go.
Um. Anyway, I got a phone call. I guess I should have silenced my phone. I don't know. My bad. Um.
It's all right.
Anyway, so I wanted guitar lessons when I was like 8, but I wasn't really old enough to like really pick it up. So I kind of like learned a few chords and then trailed off. But I don't have any family members or anything that like played music, but both of my parents like really love music. Like unnaturally love music, you know, more than your average person. And so like my dad has always been like a really good dancer. And then his dad, he would like hire live bands and stuff growing up. And so I was around live music and that aspect of it. So that's kind of like the first time I remember just like loving music and then just like picking up on catchy tunes and stuff on the radio. I feel like a little bit more than like your average person. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when I was 12, we took a vacation to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And on the way back, we stopped at Lookout Mountain in
Yeah.
Chattanooga. And when we got to the top, there was a girl playing guitar up there and singing songs she had written. And that was the first time I remember it dawning on me that I could write songs. And then I like got home and I bugged the heck out of my parents. I was like, "Give me guitar lessons. I want guitar lessons. I want to do this." And they were very much so like, I knew if I ask enough and I make it known that I want to do this, that they'll take me seriously, but that they were waiting on me to like not stop asking, basically. And so they did, and it was like a month. It was literally only a month that I mean, it was probably not that great. That I was playing like 3 or 4 songs, and I played at my older sister's 18th birthday party, like on a flatbed, and I was nervous. I was so nervous. Yeah, and that kind of began once I got past like that first hump, you know, I was like, okay, like I can do this. This was cool. Like people liked it. And yeah, and that's kind of where it went.
So, did you know that you could sing well? Before, like, had you been like singing to your like? Did you have an idea like I'm pretty good at this, or?
So, okay, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I knew I could hit the notes. Really, I'm like, I don't know.
Like I
I
don't know
knew
what
that
I'm.
like I could sing along with the radio pretty good, you know, and I was like a shower singer. And I grew up Church of Christ. And so, you know, the harmonies and like just the voices in Church of Christ is amazing. And the church I grew up in, it's called White's Ferry Road. It's like the church that the Robertsons went to, you
Yeah.
know. So um it was it's known for having really great harmonies in music and a great worship team. And so they would do like kids programs. And I remember really wanting to get like the center part. So I was about 8 or 9, kind of the same age. And I was always like fighting to get a solo, you know. And um, I got one and I was like, I feel like it went pretty good. So I guess, yeah, I don't know. My parents were pretty honest. And I was like, they would have told me if I sounded bad. So, yeah.
They would have let me know. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, and like I really, when I started taking guitar lessons, I really just kind of wanted to be the cool girl that was like, oh, I'll go to the rodeos and I can like play guitar, you know? Well, part of learning guitar, you know, the next step is singing with it, or in my case, it
yeah.
was. And so, yeah, it just happened. And then I started writing songs.
Yeah. What do you remember when you started to write? Kind of what you were writing about, or anything like that? You're probably so young you didn't even
Yeah.
know anything to write about. Just I guess you're writing about boys or something.
Yeah. Well, I would write about my older sister's boyfriends because I wasn't really dating or whatever, you know, or just like, okay, it was already beginning because I feel like as a writer, you have to be like a really good listener, because I cannot only write about my life. Like there's so much more out there. Like I feel like I live a pretty cool life. I'm very appreciative. But like, you're writing 5 times a week or more, and it's like I don't want to write about myself anymore. And so like learning how to, take what your friend is going through, or even like you're watching a TV show and trying to translate that into how you would relate to it or how you would handle that situation. And so I was kind of already doing that. And like I listened back to some of those songs and I was like, like they like, I mean, I'm not going to play them live, but like for 14, 13, like they were pretty sharp, and my uncle, like, he comes to shows and he still requests. I think he's joking, but he swears he's serious. He still requests the first song I ever wrote, and it's called "You Drive Me Crazy." And there's no twist on it. It's just "You Drive Me Crazy," So
Right to it. Like, that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, and like there are a couple songs back to like the Robertsons. They play a huge part in my story getting started and everything. There's a song that Phil really wanted me to write. Um, it was called Walking Tall. And so they kind of had this. He was just like, write a song for Duck Commander, write a song for Duck Commander. This was before Duck Dynasty. And they had this like album cover, and it wasn't an album cover, it was a DVD cover, and they were like, they're pretty tall guys and like
Yeah.
holding ducks and like just looking cool. And so the idea of walking tall, and that song like still gets requested. Some random duck hunter, I'll play Floribama sometimes. At Floribama, we'll be like, were you the singer of Walking Tall on Duck Commander? Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. No, I don't know that. I don't know how to play it. And so that
That's
was like the third or fourth song I ever wrote. But
somebody had
yeah,
probably watched that DVD like a million times.
I know, and they're so popular, like or within the world they were, and then Duck Dynasty came out, and I'm like, everybody's going back and watching the Duck Commander archives. But I mean, I'm not ashamed of that by all. But I was like, wow, somebody tattooed the lyrics. It was like the first song that somebody tattooed the lyrics to, like on their arm right here. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool.
That's a thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. So you started playing and singing. You were thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm okay at this. Maybe this isn't too bad. Do you remember any of the early shows that you played? I know you said your sister's birthday party. Do you remember any
Yeah,
outside of the family, like the first time that you played for like actually public?
I do. The first public show I ever played was at this little restaurant in my hometown of Calhoun called Chief's Hideaway. And I still have like home video and some pictures of it, but they didn't have live music. They were just like, yeah, like come play. And so I set up in their little corner, and yeah, I played music, and I remember like a lot of the show. Um, and like then it was just from like memory. I didn't have like any. Now I feel like people use their phones and stuff, to play cover songs and like take requests. I was just like, I know these 15 songs, and these are the 15 songs I'm playing. And then they actually end up. They're great people. But they actually ended up like building a stage onto the back, like adding on and building a stage. And like every once in a while, Mr. Jeff is his name. He'll be like, "Yeah, we built that stage for you," And so we need to like pick it back up. COVID, messed everything up. But I'm like, man, we need to play some shows because it's a cool spot still. Like they're still open. Best fried catfish you will ever put in your mouth. Shout out to Cheese Hideaway. If
I'm
you're
in.
ever going down I-20 and you're in between Ruston and Monroe and you want some really good fried fish, don't stop on Monday. They're not open. It's so good. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I will definitely keep that in mind. Uh,
Yeah.
so I read, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read that you played for Luke Bryan at the age of 13. So
I did.
somewhere around this time period, you played a song for Luke Bryan. How did that go? How did that even come to be?
So, okay, everything, like, once the ball started rolling, it was like quick, like back to the rodeo kind of lifestyle. It's like, if we're going to do something, my parents were right there with me. And it's like, if we're going to do something, we're going to go all the way, So it's just like small town people, figure out you're singing and playing guitar. And everybody was so supportive. So within like our church community, um, it kind of started getting around. Well, once I wrote Walking Tall, Willie like started helping me, Willie Robertson.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, I'm really good friends with Luke Bryan. So Luke has been fans of Phil and Duck Commander, like when it was Duck Commander, not Duck Dynasty, like the duck hunting. We're talking about duck hunting, not reality TV. And so Willie was like, I'm really good friends with Luke Bryan, and like, you need to come play some songs for him. And I was like, awesome, we're in. So this is where the kind of the crazy thing is, the same arena that I won the world championship in is where Luke happened to be playing. Different event, but like same fairgrounds. And so I'm like, I feel at home. It like that part is important because I'm like, I've been to this arena a couple hundred times, maybe like 100 times or something at this point. So any other situation, my parents would not have like let me have as much freedom at 13 as they did. They kind of let me do my thing. So we set it up. He's playing Dixie Stampede. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's a big pro rodeo in Jackson, Mississippi, which is where I'm at right now. And so Willie, we're like meeting Willie there. Well, we have no idea what backstage is like, what a meet and greet is. So we had meet and greets, which is amazing. But we thought these meet and greets were backstage passes. And so, like, my parents are like, where's Willie? And like Willie and Luke are at the casino or something, like hanging out. I'm 13, like, so we're like, where's Willie? And so we eventually like kind of start mingling backstage. I'm like, I'm supposed to be back here. Like, Willie invited us or whatever. And so, it's like before the artist comes out, I'm just talking and hanging out with the band or whatever. And Luke ends up coming out. And then I was like, hey, like my parents are in the stands. And they're like, what? Like, what do you mean your parents are in the stands? It's like, can they come down here? And I'm like, of course they're like, well, yeah, and it's just, and like, again, my parents were great. Like, they would never like leave me unsupervised, but we're at a rodeo arena. I spent my childhood at a rodeo,
Yeah.
So he plays a show, and Luke was expecting me to be there. Luke, like, I have nothing bad to say. He is incredible. Now I know him really well, but like at the time, first day I met him, he comes off stage and he comes right to me. He's like, what'd you think about that? And I was like, I want to do that, and so he's kind of like, well, come hang out. We hang out backstage a little bit. Well, they're, ready to get on the bus and yada, yada. So again, I told you I was long-winded.
That's all good. I'm enjoying it.
So they end up going to the bus, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be playing songs for Luke Bryan. Like, I brought my guitar. I'm like dead set, and Willie is probably like, oh my gosh, these people, And so the security guard at the bus let me on. I don't know why. I can't remember why, or if I had talked to him like before. My parents may have. So he let me up there, and it's awkward going onto a bus when like you're not like one of the people. Like, why is this 13-year-old girl coming on this bus, and why is she allowed? And then they look, and then they realize like it's like, oh, okay. And I was like, Luke, I'm Chancie. Like I hung out with y'all earlier. Here's my CD. I hope
Heck
he
yeah.
threw it away, but here's my CD. I was like, but there's some songs that aren't on there that I really like to play for you. He goes, well, you got a guitar? And I was like, I do. It's in the car. He goes, well, go get it. And so I go on, the car wasn't far. I go to get to the car and come back. And the security guard's like, he's cheering me on. He's like, go, girl, go. And we get up there, and just by chance, Dallas Davidson was on the bus that night, and
Wow.
Cole Swindell. And I have pictures with all of them. Cole was his merch guy at the time.
Wow.
So Cole was not doing the artist thing. He was like writing with his buddies in Nashville, And yeah, so me, Dallas, and Luke sat there and did a guitar pool. And I played, the 15, 20 songs I had written at that time. And Luke was like, you're great. He's like, but you're so young. Like, I'm like really hesitant to tell you to come to Nashville because like you're so young. And Dallas said, shut up, Luke. She needs to come to Nashville right now. And then as the night progressed, and Luke was like, okay, like here's my number. Y'all come up, y'all can stay with my wife and I. If call me, like we'll go to lunch. Like, this is when I'll be in town. Let me look at my schedule. This week, he like told us the week he was gonna be in town so he could introduce us to people. And Dallas was the same way. Dallas, gave his cell phone number, like really incredible, like for them to step out at that level. And at the time, Luke had Do I was like about to come out. So
Mhm.
he had his like countryman, and stuff. But and then Dallas was like he was already killing it, but still like new like I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
um had probably 4 or 5 singles on the radio, which is like new hot songwriter
Yeah.
on the scene. Yeah. So that's that Luke story. And then we did.
Wow.
We came to Nashville. I was 14 by that time. My parents drove up there. I remember my dad like so we had a blowout on the truck, like just outside of Monroe on the way to Nashville. And my dad was like, you know, I don't know if this is meant to be. Like I don't know. Like this might be a sign or something, and then we ended up going, and he had a talk with me. He was like, when we get it, we had no idea. He was like, people might tell you no and laugh at you or whatever. He was like, don't let it stop you. Don't let it, or whatever. He was like, I'm bringing my baby daughter up to this big city,
Yeah.
and it went great. But I was just like, parenting moment there.
Wow. I thought you were going to say like you played like a verse chorus and they said, all right, see you later. You just,
No, it was like till 2 a.m.
that's
Yeah, it was awesome. And like,
unbelievable.
just great people hanging out. I feel like everybody thinks like backstage is this crazy thing, and it's like, it's actually kind of boring. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a whole lot going on, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really cool of those guys to do that. And I've always heard that Luke's I've never met him, but I've always heard he's a great guy, but that reinforces that.
Yeah,
So
he definitely is. And he picked up the phone when we called too. Like, we went out to lunch. I remember going out to lunch with him multiple times. And um, even that night on the bus, like, we heard so many hits that for the first time, that like Nashville experience. And, but yeah, like we went to Applebee's one day at Nipper's Corner, and then like got to hear his Doing My Thing record before it came out. And he ended up introducing me to his manager, Carrie Edwards. And then that's when the ball really started rolling for me.
wow. I'm glad I wasn't your friend whenever I was that age because yeah, I could barely tie my shoe. You're like winning world champion barrel racers hanging out with Luke Bryan.
Oh,
Songs. I'm like, man,
I feel
that's a
like
lot
I
for a
peaked at
14-year-old.
13 though. I'm like, wait.
That's amazing. 13, just crushing it out there. Um, So obviously, I'm assuming that you didn't move to Nashville at 13. I'm assuming you came back home and you moved to Nashville a little later. How did that all that play out?
Yeah, so I came back home and just kept playing shows and kept writing. Sorry about the lighting; it got dark on me, but
No, it's all good. Are you first of all? Are you in a semi-safe place?
I
That's the
am.
most.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I am safe. Yeah.
All right.
Um. So yeah, I came back home to Louisiana, and like kept playing shows, and then we would take trips, and I was writing with some really great writers, like people that I would love to be in a room with even now. Like my first co-write was with Shay Smith, and she's had 6 number 1s. Like she wrote like Carolyn Dawn Johnson, So Complicated, like,
Mm,
and these are just like little bitty connections from my hometown. It was, a God thing for sure.
yeah.
These little connections from my hometown, and most of them started like from our church. Um, but so yeah, I started like really playing full band shows. I got an awesome band together. Incredible musicians, like us, Louisiana boys. And then when I was 15, we ended up moving. So my parents got an apartment up there, and like I would still go home a lot. My mom moved up there with me, and like my parents were still together, but I had a little sister. So we had to, it was kind of some like moving pieces and parts.
Yeah.
But huge sacrifice for them, and then we had a death in the family at one point, and it was right around like the 1 year lease mark, and my mom had to go home uh to handle that, and I had some big rights that week, and my manager, or like at this point she was already managed me, Carrie Edwards, who currently manages Luke Bryan, Cole Swindell, Dylan Scott, another Louisiana boy.
Mhm.
um she was like, well, Chancie can stay with me like for the week, and I can help get her to her right. She was helping book rights anyway, and so I did that. And then she was like, why don't, like, she can live with us, like, instead of y'all doing this, being apart, like, she's about to be 16 and driving, like, she can just live with us. And so I did. I moved in with them, and I lived with her till I was 18, so 2 years. And
Wow.
that was a really cool opportunity because she's like in the thick of managing Luke Bryan. Um, I skipped ahead a little bit to 15 because she invited me on farm tour with Luke. So I had been like opening shows for Luke. So it was getting like really serious, playing big
And you
crowds.
opened shows for Luke before this, like before you, like when you were like 14 or 15.
Yeah, I was 14 the first time I opened farm tour.
I was
It
thinking
was
this was you down
crazy.
the road. Okay, that's I was confused. So I was thinking this was like when you were a little bit older than that. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
go
The
ahead. Go ahead.
first the first year I was 14. So this was before we moved. And yeah, so I like Luke introduced me to her at CMA Fest, which like now, and I don't know if Nashville's changed or just like it was this divine thing that happened, but I feel like it's really rare for Nashville CMA Fest, like real business connections to actually happen. People are just like running and gunning. Well, I end up on some Carrie had her tour bus out there, like at this Longhorn Steakhouse, like private show that Luke played with Jake Owen. And Carrie was like, play me these songs, and Mark Bright, who is an incredible producer, happened to be hanging out that night. And she was like Mark, like what do you think? Like, I think these are great, like I see potential here. And she was like, I would like to manage you. And so at that point, she invited me to, she called me and was like, do you want to open these farm tour shows? And it was like hitting the lottery. Like, I remember I was so excited. I mean, of course you are, and It was really neat to see because that was the second year. So my first year was the second year of farm tour, and then I opened up for 7 years following that, I believe. So 2010 to 2007, 16 or 17 was the last year that I opened. And man, just like seeing those crowds grow was incredible.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Uh, so whenever I was researching, I was wondering how like all that played out because I saw the 13 you played for him, and then I didn't know if that was later on. I don't know. I just that's very interesting. I mean, you had a lot going on.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Whirlwind, and like you just go with the flow, and I was like very appreciative of it, but there's a lot of like business stuff that I was just not like capable of comprehending. Like you're 15, 16, 17, like it's
Well,
a
that's what I was
whirlwind.
going to ask you. So everybody's kind of, from the outside, if you don't know the music business, a lot of people just look at Nashville and see the TV shows and the lights, and they're like the glitz and glamour. But what are some of the things behind the scenes that artists and writers face there?
Man, so I signed with Sony. I was 16 when I signed with Sony. So that was a co-venture with um, Luke and Carrie's company with Sony. And a big thing with that, like talking about like behind the scenes or under the radar, Sony and EMI did a big merge. And like you might remember it or whatever. It was historic.
Yeah,
And because EMI, I mean, had been around forever, and which is crazy because you don't hear about it anymore. But I signed the day before that merge. And so I went into like chaos. Like the company was like, oh, here's this new writer, but like we have I don't even know how many year catalog, decades of catalog that we're dealing with. And also 80 writers came in. So I came in, they signed me, and then 80 more writers. When is, one company gonna take on 81 writers within 2 days? you know?
that's insane. Yeah.
Um, so like just in hindsight, like I feel like I did a good job of like staying like on them. I would like go hang out in the office, but it's really hard, even though they're giving you a shot and writing you a check, and like you have somebody like Luke Bryan who was on top of the world at the time, and Carrie Edwards who is a boss, and also just great people. It's still like really easy to get lost in the mix of things. And so I feel like I kind of did a little bit. Like I didn't know how to like pitch my own songs. And I wish I would have been like really writing for other artists, or like, why wasn't I writing songs for Luke Bryan? Like, just not thinking. But I was like, I had the every opportunity to be writing songs for him, and just wasn't. I don't know. I was 17. So
Yeah, like I said, I could barely tie my shoes at that age. So you were way
yeah.
advanced past me. um, I do like I like. There's a question I always like to ask the ladies when they come on, and so like we all know that traditionally it's been more difficult for women to get the same opportunities as men in the world of country music. That's been a thing for decades. A lot of old songs about it and all of that. Do you find that it's still that way today, somewhat, or do you think things have changed, or both?
I mean, I think that there will always be a little bit of that. I don't mean to sound cynical because, like, I kind of accept it and work with what I got kind of person instead of like complaining about it or whatever, But of course I've experienced it, but you can change what you can and you can't change what you can't. And I feel like I've been really blessed to like have some people in my corner that they didn't care, and they gave me the same shot. And I've also had some people where it, hasn't happened that way. But I like after having kids, it's always like a reservation, that women have, or maybe not always. I'm probably misspeaking there, but it's a common reservation that women artists and like songwriters even, it really plays a part into our career, the business that we choose. But I'm glad I did. I was never willing to like put a family on hold, maybe like later than I would have if I wasn't in the music business, but like I knew I wanted a family. And
Yeah.
like I'm not willing to sacrifice like having a family for as much as like I'll sacrifice anything for this. I'm like, no, I'll just do it both and they can deal with it. I'll find a way kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it just is what it is, and you tackle it a hurdle as you have them and keep going.
I like that. I like that attitude. I'm glancing at the comments. Karen, thanks for joining us again, Karen. She tunes in almost every Tuesday night. She
Awesome.
says, love it. Written on the River says, wow, how amazing for you. That's awesome. And then Michael Carr says, one of North Louisiana's
I'll take it.
best. Always, we'll say North America. We'll change it. Always blown away by her voice and songwriting. So,
Thank you. Great writer. Michael's a great writer himself, so that's a huge compliment.
awesome, awesome. You do have a platinum song, so let's talk about
Yeah.
how that came to be real quick, and because I don't want to talk about Luke forever because I want to get to more of you.
Yeah.
He did that song, right?
Yeah. So it was a song called Harry Christmas, and it kind of ties right into it makes sense. Um they were I knew about it early because of my connections with the Robertsons. So peak of Duck Dynasty, found out they're doing a record. I'm like, if I don't get on this record, I'm not a writer. So like I fell into I was like, I got to get this cut. And so I wrote a song because like we've spent Christmases and holidays with them. So and it got cut. And it was a work tape cut, which is kind of rare. Like we didn't demo it or anything. And but yeah, everybody in Nashville was writing for that. And so it was a big deal. Like we knew it was gonna sell a lot. Or like the industry Nashville did, and it did. Yeah, it sold over 1 million records. And I'm very proud of those year-round Christmas decorations, aka plaques on the wall. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I
Yeah.
mean, platinum was a big deal.
I don't get to play it very often because it is real awkward to sing a song called Harry Christmas, like coming from a girl, and in July, it's like nobody wants to hear about Christmas. So
Oh goodness. Do you have a personal favorite song that you've written over the years?
yes. It's a song called Drunk on That. I wrote it like 12 years ago now. And an artist, her name's May Estes. She's actually from South Arkansas, real close to Louisiana. And she actually just cut it. She's on Big Machine. And yeah, I just it's done some cool stuff, and it's kind of almost got cut by a lot of artists, and I wanted to put it out. And we were on a writer's retreat, and she heard it, and she was like, I'm gonna cut that. Well, that was in 2020, like right when COVID hit. And May has always been great. I was like, if May wants to sing it, May can sing it. And yeah, she cut it this year.
Well, I feel like she's got a lot of steam going right now too, so it might be it might be a good thing that it maybe delayed a little bit. It might work out.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I feel like this is like she's put out some great projects. All of her stuff is great, but she's got a awesome team and label and stuff behind it. So I'm honored that she cut an outside song because she's a great writer to begin with. We write a lot together, and she's a great writer. And so it's even more of a compliment that she cut an outside song, and it was this
Yeah,
one.
it is. Yeah, a lot of people may not understand that, but yeah, that's a huge deal. It means that she really loved the song.
Yeah, I'm like, it is great. It is great after all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she's just on my algorithm or what, but she pops up all the time on my stuff. So
She's
I don't
like
know.
in the hot seat right now. I mean, I'm kind of on a little bit of a high because it just like this weekend it was on iHeart radio station, so syndicated. I didn't get a chance to hear it. I was like, glued to like iHeart radio all weekend. But yeah, it was sent out. So I mean, fingers crossed that would be life changing. But regardless, it's I'm proud of it regardless. So
say the title one more time so we can all be on the lookout for it.
yeah, it's called Drunk on That.
Drunk on
And her
That.
name
Okay.
is May Estes.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'll be listening for it. I think it's going to do some awesome things.
Yeah, I hope so.
I can't wait to hear
Number
it.
one.
That's right. That's right. Real quick, just from the being on the tour, you mentioned like the big shows and stuff like that. I did want to ask you, did you have any favorite memories from that? Like favorite memories from those tours throughout the years?
Oh yeah. The first like show of like the second year, this is kind of funny. It is kind of a favorite memory, but I'll never forget. I witnessed my first fight on stage, and they were looking at me like trying to flag me down, and I'm like, I'm like a little baby artist, and I'm out here, and I'm like in Villa Rica, Georgia, witnessing a fight, farm tour. But another like all jokes aside, they used to do farm tour had like the best backstage atmosphere because industry people would come out and because it was only like 2 weeks, and they would park the buses. So the peach pickers were on there, Luke, um, us. I was on the management bus. I think they put me on the management bus when we brought an RV one year and the exhaust fumes. That's like an embarrassing memory. Exhaust like fumed everybody out. It had 10 full on the windows. So they're like, yeah, come get on the bus. So anyway, they would park the 4 buses.
Nobody said shitter's full, did they?
Oh yeah, you cannot go number 2 on a tour bus. Yeah, so they would park the tour buses in a square, and they called it Times Square. And they would, not that I could partake, but they would have a bar and then like a DJ, and everybody would hang out. And there was a party bus like that, one, but it was like a good, clean atmosphere. But I don't feel like those backstages kind of exist anymore. Like even they don't do that. Everybody's settled down now, but it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Moving forward in your career and everything, do you think that there were some lessons that you learned from being a part of that you could take forward with you in your future of music?
Oh yeah. I mean, man. Luke is such a good example of like a class act, and a big thing that I try to do. I've been asked like, will you write with this 14-year-old or whatever, and it's so easy to be like, oh man, like I really don't want to, but I was given that chance, and so I always try to like give it back. And even if it's like, of course you'd rather be writing with the hit writers or whatever, but like you never know. And how many times has it happened? I think back, I've said yes, and then that artist does end up being incredible. Harper Grace is one of those. Like she was 14 when I wrote with her for the first time, and I remember being like, I'm gonna take her seriously because somebody took me seriously. And so yeah, she's great now. She's got a deal and like just killing it.
We've got a young girl from Louisiana that I was just mentioning in the news earlier, Hadley Joe. She just moved to Nashville. I mean, she's just doing her thing.
Have you listened to any of her project or anything?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a song I wrote on it. It's called Silverado.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a big,
So you guys
I wrote that when I was 15. Yeah, so I got a Hadley Joe. She's great.
Yeah.
So good. Jimmy Melton is producing her.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote Harry Christmas with Jimmy. So I love Jimmy Melton. Yeah, good people.
You telling your story, I've gotten to know Hadley and her mother over the last few months. And some of that reminded me of her story now, talking about I mean, she was doing some things at a very early age. I mean, she's still
Yeah.
in the thing, but yeah, some of y'all stories are somewhat similar, I think. So that's interesting. I'm glad you guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to reach out to her going up and seeing what she's up to now that I'm heading to Nashville.
Yeah, she just moved there back in January, December, I think. So
Awesome. Awesome.
let's see. Chad Jerkins says, from a little girl that took me mud riding on a go kart to a country music star. Keep on, keep
Yeah,
on.
didn't I flip that go kart that day? I was like, I can do a no. Watch this, and I wasn't used to the weight. Yeah, Chad. Thanks.
That's usually the famous last words in the country, right? Hey, watch this.
Oh yeah, like 7 years old. I can do a donut. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I got just a few more questions, and I want you to get back on the road because I know you got a long ride. But
All right. Yeah.
how would you define yourself as an artist in 2026?
So I really am wanting to lean into my lifestyle. So when I moved to Nashville, it was kind of like I wore my belt buckle, my gold buckle, my boots, and now all that is like everybody wears a hat, everybody wears that, But then that was unheard of, and it was like Nashville. I got Nashvilled a little bit, It's like you need to wear heels, you need to wear skinny jeans. Like let's style you. And I really wish I would have stuck with that. I remember my dad being like, "You need to wear a felt hat on stage," and I was like, "That's stupid." And anyway, that's genuine for me, and I try not to like I I look at it as a positive thing because I'm like, yeah, it brings people to our industry. Like, wear that hat, We'll teach you how to ride if you come hang out with us. But yeah, I'm gonna lean into like who I am more. I've always tried to do that, but it just gets more clear with age,
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you always hear that advice, like don't try to be so and so because they're already great at that.
Right, right.
The best thing to do, I really in anything in life, and the way the universe works and all that stuff is just be the best version of you and lean into what God gave you and the talents and skills and interest and all that whole package. Lean into that. I
Right.
feel like things just work out more.
Yeah. And I wish I would have more, but like a lot more people understand what rodeo is or like at least are more interested in it.
Yeah.
Then, I wore my boots to school and people were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "They're comfortable," so.
Chancie Neal here says, "Hey, watch this. Needs to be a song. Who is that? What relation is this, Chesney?
My little sister.
Your little sister. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She said,
awesome.
hey, watch this. Needs to be a song." So,
That is actually, you're right. All right. Give me some song ideas
hey,
for this week.
a word is a third. So it looks
That's
like she's got
right.
a co-write right here.
That's right. She sings too. She's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Kim says, I'm mom. Okay. Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, Mom.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for letting her pull over and share a little time with us tonight. Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. We talked a little bit about some similarities between the rodeo world and the music business. I mean, you think that there's some parallels in that?
I do. I talked about
You have to be
just
tough
kind
in
of
both,
the
I guess. I'm
do
saying
what?
you have to be tough in both. I'm guessing.
You do. You do. Yeah, I mean, it's just like hard work. And like, if you don't put in the time, I mean, I'm kind of relating it to like training horses too, because I grew up like training both my parents, would the whole 9 yards, like from beginning to end when it comes to horses. So it just, yeah, it's hard work and it's not flashy all the time, like it looks cool, but a lot of people, are like, "Oh yeah, I grew up riding horses," and you're like, not very many people took it as seriously as we did. And I think like that translates to music because it's like, oh yeah, like I play guitar, I write songs, but then you're like, but let's
Yeah.
hear them, like, and I don't, I hate to like sound, I don't say that trying to sound pretentious or anything, but um it does take kind of, you got to stand out to be, really good. You have to take it to another level.
Yeah, and it's one thing to say I write songs, but it's like, have you really dedicated yourself to that craft? I think
The
that's
craft,
what
yeah.
I think that's what you mean by it. Just
Yeah.
have you
And there's
really
a lot of
devoted yourself to
intuition, that comes with that too. On both, I'm relating on both of them with riding a horse and with writing a song. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not a good line. Like I really struggled. I still struggle to this day, like listening back to work tapes and being overcritical of just like, oh, I remember playing songs for my plugger at Sony and playing it back and just like, oh, that I don't like that line, you know, and knowing that they're probably not critiquing it like I am, but the same lines bother me. They're going to bother me forever, 10 years from now. So I might as well change it in the room. So,
it.
yeah.
um, Tanya Given says, "Love her too." In the comments over here. So,
We got
just a
some.
couple. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying we got some like good folks on the live today. I can't see everybody who's on here, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of reading the comments so you know
Yeah,
they're
thanks.
over here cheering you on. Just a couple more questions for you. How has being a mother changed the way that you look at the music business and the way that you just approach the business now?
Well, I'm a lot more efficient because it's a job and it's like, so that's why I moved back to Louisiana coming up 3 years ago now. When I come up to Nashville, I'm like, I'm finishing songs. I'm getting out of there and going home, and it's like I love to hang out. And I love just like everything that songwriting and artistry is. Like I really do. But that time is precious. They grow up fast. And I look back on maybe some of the rights I pushed back. I was like, you start at 10:30. Like, can we start at 11? And those people were parents. And I'm like, dang. Uh and just like I don't cancel on people anymore. And I've never been much of a canceler, but when you get canceled on, you're like, that time is very valuable. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just time. It makes me appreciate time a lot more and other people's time, because
Yeah.
those kids come first.
That's interesting. That's a little bit of a different angle than I was expecting, but that's very interesting. Yeah, that's true. Makes you think
Yeah.
about it.
I probably came from more of a literal perspective, because me going up here, I'm fresh off like kissing those babies bye for the week. So I'm like, I'm gonna make the most of this week, because I'm sacrificing a
That's right.
lot.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, you're sacrificing.
um,
So it's a job. I mean, you're going to get your job done and go home. So,
right,
uh,
right.
and a lot of times in the business, people are, you know, it's a lot of hang time. It's a lot of wasted time in the music business. I
It
find.
is. It is. And that I will say the hang time is important in the
Yeah.
industry. We all have heard networking. So it is, but there's a time when it's like, you know, to turn it off and go home. So
You're playing a show in Nashville next week with Hope on the Inside. Going to be an amazing lineup on that. I wish I could be
yeah.
there, but I won't be in town. But it's even a more of an amazing cause, the Hope on the Inside, what they're doing, their organization. Um, what does it mean to be able to give back to the world through your music?
Man, I feel like that's the ultimate goal. I mean, why do we do this? Like at the end of the day, like it's definitely not for fame. I mean, fame is not all that it's cracked up to be after, being around people that have it. So at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. And Brianna is one of my dear friends, and she has an incredible story. And I'm on her board for Hope on the Inside. And I don't have any like personal, like I've never been to prison, and like I've not really dealt with like that side until I've been a part of this. But I know her and I've seen, what she's overcome, and it's, it feels like this is what it's all about, and um man, so we got to go to Angola, and we actually played a big show. We played a show there with Kix and Bree, and um man, like just seeing like that side of it. And this is, I can get long-winded and we don't have to go into all that, but um the Louisiana State Penitentiary like does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes to like self-worth, a lot of times people end up in that situation, and because of that. And so yeah, this is a fundraising event that we're doing. And just if you're coming like as a listener, like buying a ticket, I mean, Vince Gill is on the lineup. Like, that's crazy. That's so cool. I'm excited about that. Obviously, Kix is a legend. Bob DePiro, Tim Nichols,
Yeah.
but they have some awesome silent auction items. So, and I'm not just saying that. Like, Kix pours it on thick. Like, you can go like play a round of golf with him and stuff. So, um, yeah. So it's definitely worth coming to just for the songs, but getting in on that silent auction too is cool.
Yeah. Well, I think Alex is going to try to come, but I won't be in town for that one. But hopefully, I can catch the next one. And I would love to. I would love to interview her about the Hope on the Inside story too.
Yes.
That'd be amazing to be able to share that. I have family members who have been through very similar stories as her, so it kind of a soft spot for me there.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, please pass that on. We would love to.
Yeah. We can do a group text or something, and I can definitely make that happen. She would love to do this.
Yeah,
and it's a kind of a different
it.
approach, to the industry, because she writes songs for Sony. She just signed a publishing deal, and yeah, she's killing it. Like, and it's just a different approach. She's not trying to do like the commercial, artist thing, and it's working very well and helping people.
Yeah, I
Real
mean, if
people.
you can, what you said a while ago, that's what it's all about. I mean, if you can use your talents and skills that God gave you to help others in their life and stuff like that, it's just a huge win for everybody.
Right.
Karen says the craftsmanship from the prisoners are awesome. That is a fact.
Oh, yes.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It is. It's cool. Yeah, they have all these like craft vendors at the rodeo, and I need to run barrels there. I haven't ever. My little sister did, but I'm like, that would kind of be a meshing of two worlds.
Yeah. I've actually been there like 6 times, just taking groups of kids and stuff like that. And I mean, it's a different world back there, but you meet some people that you realize like a lot of these people just they're not the same person they were 20, 30, 40 years ago, and they need help. They need hope.
Right.
They need something.
Well, Angola does a good job of teaching those skills and giving them an outlet. I mean, to actually change, and that's kind of along the lines of what Hope on the Inside does. She goes in there and like, look, I did this, you can too. A lot of those people, they weren't taught to shake somebody's hand and look them in the eye, or not use certain words or speak a certain way, to get a job. They didn't have parents that taught them, So
yeah. Well, that's amazing, and I'm proud of you for being a part of that as well. That's really awesome. I'm looking at the clock, so I'm gonna get you out of here. But what do you? Last question. What do you think? What do you think and hope that music looks like for you, say for the rest of 2026 and beyond?
So I'm really wanting to. I'm like new project mode. So trying to figure out like what songs would go on that, and kind of getting a plan for that, like as an artist. But I've really, for the first time, the past couple years or year or so, I'm really leaning into writing for other artists. I've never done that. I mean, I've here and there, but like, really making sure there's another artist in the room, and writing for them. and it's going well. Like, the May thing is awesome, and there's another song that we wrote together that is looking promising, and there's another artist, SJ McDonald, that we've written some stuff together that I think she's gonna release. You never know till it's actually out.
Yeah.
Kinsey Coppin she's a Texas artist. She's killing it in Texas right now. So yeah, that's kind of working, but like I love performing, and I've got a lot of shows, songwriters festivals. I play Floribama. Like that's such a cool music hub, like the Alabama music scene. My husband's from Alabama,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like Louisiana is like South Louisiana is right there, and we all vacation at the coast. And I have made so many fans just at Floribama. Like it is a hub. There's something about it. So if y'all are ever down at Floribama, like they're original music junkies,
I never
so.
want to leave whenever I go. It's like my
Oh,
favorite.
I know. Well, yeah, it's like, and I'm like, is anybody from Alabama? Woo! Is anybody from Louisiana? Where are we in Louisiana? Yeah.
A lot of Louisiana folks down there for sure.
Uh-huh.
And we happen to be a little bit loud. So
Oh yeah.
Well, we're doing a writer's retreat soon in Louisiana, so we'll have to hit you up and get you.
Hit me up. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, we're working on one right now, so we'll be in touch about that. So
awesome.
Well, where can people follow you on socials and all that good stuff?
Most of my socials are my name. So at Chancie Neal. It's just ChancieNeal. That's the beauty of having a unique name. So yeah. Instagram, I'm probably the most active, and Facebook. I haven't really gotten into the TikTok thing yet. I know, like, I'm so late to the game, but like I do have this old soul. I've always had that about me, and I'm just like, I don't know, so.
I feel you. I'm
Yeah. I'm not against
it.
I'm just like, here's another social media platform,
Yeah, my team's telling me that I've got to create content, and so they're like, "We got to do TikTok content." And I'm listening to them, and I'm getting there, but I'm finding excuses. So
yeah,
we'll get there though. But well, I appreciate you finding some time to spend with us tonight. I know you're headed to Nashville, and please be careful, be safe.
Thank you.
Very grateful for you spending a little bit of time with us tonight, and great hearing your story. It's an amazing story, and you're an amazing person, amazing talent. So just keep working hard and making Louisiana proud.
All right. Well, thank y'all. This was awesome. I will say on TikTok, we do I said I wasn't like a part of it, but my little sister posts like her and I farm antics, and it's pretty funny. Like she's kind of got a TikTok following. It's Chancie Neal. So yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
CHESNIE. Chesney.
Neal. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, and you be
Thank
safe.
you, Ronnie.
We'll be in touch about that songwriters retreat for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.
Safe trip. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. That was a great interview. Very interesting. I didn't know a lot of that. So really, really interesting. Just big thanks to Chancie for coming on, spending a little time with us tonight. If you enjoyed that, tune in every Tuesday night. We interview amazing people every Tuesday night. Jump in, support them. Thank you, Karen, for always supporting. Again, please make sure to follow, like, share, comment. Help us show the world what Louisiana country music and these artists are all about. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless all the Louisiana folks out there. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you next Tuesday night right here at Louisiana Country Music Live.